Millions of people pray before these images every day. They hang in homes, stand in temples, appear in festivals across India. Yet hidden inside them is a message most people never notice, without realizing it was ever a message at all. Not a message hidden in a lost book, not a secret buried beneath an ancient temple, but something far more visible. Something hanging on walls, standing inside temples, printed in calendars, seen by generations for thousands of years. And yet, almost nobody stops to ask the question that changes everything. Because once you ask that question, these images stop looking like mythology. They stop looking like religious artwork, and they begin to look like something else entirely. Something carefully designed, something encoded. A visual language created to teach wisdom, power, balance, and the nature of human life itself. And hidden within that language is a secret that may completely change the way you look at Hindu gods. Think about it. Most of us have seen these images since childhood. We see them in temples, at festivals, inside our homes, on posters, calendars, and paintings. They are so familiar that we rarely stop and truly look at them. But have you ever wondered why they were created this way? Why does Durga have many arms? Why does Vishnu have 4? Why does Shiva have a third eye? Why does Ganesha have an elephant's head? Were these images simply created to look divine and extraordinary? Or were they trying to teach us something much deeper? Today, we're going on a journey to decode some of the most powerful symbols in Hindu tradition. And by the end of this video, you may discover that these symbols are not just about gods. They are also about us. Before we begin, if you enjoy exploring the hidden wisdom behind our traditions, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And stay until the end, because the biggest discovery isn't about any one god or goddess. It's about the incredible way ancient India preserved wisdom for thousands of years. Imagine a child looking at a traffic signal for the first time. The child sees 3 lights: red, yellow, green. But an adult sees something very different. The adult sees meaning. Stop, wait, go. The lights themselves are not important. The message behind them is. Now think about the symbols we use every day. A heart represents love. A white flag represents peace. A wedding ring represents commitment. Simple images, deep meanings. What if the sacred images of Hindu tradition work in the same way? What if they were never meant to be understood only with the eyes? What if they were meant to be understood with the mind? And maybe even with life experience? Because sometimes a symbol can teach something that words cannot. Among all these sacred images, one stands out immediately. A goddess with many arms. Strong, fearless, impossible to ignore. We know her as Durga. One of the most common questions people ask is simple. Why so many arms? At first glance, it looks impossible. But think about your own life. A mother manages her children, her home, her work, and her responsibilities. A father balances earning, caring, planning, and protecting. Students balance studies, friendships, dreams, and expectations. Every day, people are handling many responsibilities at once, almost as if they need more than 2 arms. Maybe that is the message. Durga's many arms can be seen as many strengths working together. Courage, patience, compassion, discipline, protection, wisdom. Life doesn't ask us to master only one quality. It asks us to balance many. And perhaps that is why Durga continues to inspire people even today. Because her image reminds us of something we experience every day. Real strength is not power alone. Real strength is balance. But Durga's many arms are only the beginning. The next symbol may be even more surprising, because it hides a lesson about balance that most people spend their entire lives trying to learn. But strength alone is not enough, because life is not just about facing challenges. It's also about maintaining balance while facing them. And few symbols capture that idea better than Vishnu, the preserver, the one who maintains order. Again, we see something unusual. 4 arms. Why? In many depictions, Vishnu holds 4 sacred objects: the conch, the discus, the mace, the lotus. Each one represents a different aspect of life: strength, responsibility, protection, growth. Think about your own life. Can success alone make a person complete? Can power alone create happiness? Can spirituality alone solve every problem? Probably not. A meaningful life requires balance, just like Vishnu's 4 arms bring different qualities together. The image silently teaches a lesson that many people spend years learning. Balance is not found by choosing one thing over another. It is found by bringing different parts of life into harmony. And perhaps that's why Vishnu continues to symbolize stability even today. But if Durga teaches strength and Vishnu teaches balance, then the next symbol points towards something even more difficult. Something that can completely change the way we experience reality itself. Because sometimes, the greatest transformation doesn't come from changing the world around us. It comes from changing the way we see it. If you're enjoying this journey into the hidden meanings behind these symbols, consider subscribing to the channel, because we're only getting deeper from here. Imagine discovering that the biggest limitation in your life was never a lack of strength, never a lack of opportunity, never even a lack of knowledge, but the way you were looking at things. That is the idea hidden within one of Hinduism's most famous symbols, Shiva's third eye. Most people associate it with destruction. But what if the deeper meaning is not destruction itself? What if it is awareness? Think about a mistake you kept repeating for years. Maybe it was a habit, a fear, a wrong belief. Then one day something changed. Suddenly you saw the truth. The situation remained the same, but your understanding changed. And that changed everything. That is the power of perception. Shiva's third eye reminds us that wisdom is not always about seeing more. Sometimes it is about seeing clearly. Seeing beyond ego, seeing beyond illusion, seeing beyond excuses. And perhaps the hardest thing in life is not opening our eyes. It is opening our minds. Maybe that is the deeper meaning behind Shiva's third eye. Not the power to see more, but the wisdom to see clearly. But once we see clearly, another question remains. How do we move through life's obstacles? Perhaps one of Hinduism's most beloved symbols holds the answer. If you had to choose one animal to represent wisdom, patience, and quiet strength, what would it be? For ancient India, the answer was clear: the elephant. And that answer reveals something fascinating about Ganesha. A form loved by millions, an elephant's head, a human body. Again, the question appears. Why? Think about an elephant, strong yet calm, powerful yet patient, large yet gentle. An elephant does not panic. It does not rush without reason. It moves steadily, with confidence, with awareness. Now compare that to modern life. How often do we rush into decisions? How often do we react before thinking? How often do we create our own obstacles? Perhaps that is why Ganesha is known as the remover of obstacles, because many obstacles are not outside us. They are inside us. Fear, impatience, confusion, doubt. The symbol teaches that wisdom and patience can often achieve what force cannot. And now we arrive at the bigger question. Why did ancient India use symbols like these? Why not simply write everything down? Maybe because words can be forgotten, languages can change, books can disappear, but symbols endure. A child can look at them, an adult can reflect on them, a seeker can meditate on them, and each person can discover a new layer of meaning. Perhaps the artists who created these images were doing something remarkable. They were preserving wisdom in a form that could survive generations, not just for scholars, not just for priests, but for everyone. So the next time you see Durga's many arms, Vishnu's 4 hands, Shiva's 3rd eye, or Ganesha's elephant head, pause for a moment. Look beyond the surface. Ask yourself, what is this symbol trying to teach? What lesson is hidden here? And what does it reveal about my own life? Because perhaps these images were never meant to be understood only as representations of gods. Perhaps they were also mirrors. Mirrors reflecting human strengths, struggles, and possibilities. And maybe that is why they continue to inspire people thousands of years after they were first created. If you stayed until this point, thank you. It means you're someone who likes to look beyond the surface and search for deeper meaning. I'd love to know your thoughts. Which symbol spoke to you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into the hidden wisdom of our traditions, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep looking beyond what first meets the eye.